Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. Hang tight while we connect to Instagram. I'm so excited. I have a very special guest we are going to chat with today. 1 second, I think we're almost there. And yes, we are live everywhere. Welcome, beautiful people, and thank you for tuning in today. We are going to be talking about the Raw Vegan Bundle, and I have a very special guest with us today, Wendy Grinten, and she is here, and we're going to talk to her and learn all about her contribution. We're going to talk about hormones and harmony and family and raw food. And I'd like to welcome you, Wendy. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you for this beautiful introduction. Great to see you and finally meet you alive. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. I am so honored to have you here. And if you're watching live and you have a question for either one of us, please feel free to put it in the chat or just a comment. We are here for you guys. And I do see Else is here. Hello, Else. And so just to start really quickly, the bundle, the Raw Vegan Bundle, is something that's only going to be available from today until May 11th. And it is a great deal. It's worth like $1,300 if you bought everything separately, but you can get it for $50, and you can get it through Wendy's link or mine in the bio. And the only thing that I would say is once you get it, download it right away. You only have until June 30th. Usually with these bundles, they give you a year, but I guess there was something that happened and they needed to cut it short. So don't even wait, right? You want to get it, you want to look at it, and it's great. So please enjoy the bundle and take advantage of this. So Wendy, talk to me about, a little bit about what did you contribute to the bundle?
Wow, thank you for giving me the platform. Yeah, so this is a really beautiful bundle this year. Like for me, it's a little different as I did not contribute a recipe book, but I introduced feminine harmony. And in feminine harmony, I speak a little bit about my journey with pregnancy, birth, and postpartum recovery from my eldest. And after that, it's 100 pages full of advice on nutrition, on supplements, and what kind there are, and how to use, what not to use, how to make a decision if you feel pushed by your doctor or gynecologist. And in this book, you basically have a guide where you can look up symptoms as well, and then it'll give you advice. So you can read it top to bottom, or you can look up some of your symptoms and help yourself with that. And so it's really, if you feel you want to have a pain-free life, like if you have any hormonal disbalances, like people have, oh, my period's coming, what it's like. Well, actually, I don't want to know what it's like. I just want to go through it like relaxed, and it's not bothering me, like I feel my period's coming, but I'm happy and everything's fine, instead of, yeah, I'm cranky, or I'm hungry, or I can't eat, or, I get hot flashes, or it hurts. So we don't want any of that. And that solution you'll find in my book. So, and then I'll prepare you.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful, thick, fabulous wealth of information. And, you don't have to be going through a pregnancy. I mean, women and men both go through hormonal changes through our whole lives. I mean, all the way, especially, towards the end for women, of the reproduction, then you go through menopause, perimenopause, all of that fun stuff. And it's really wonderful to have you share such a beautiful book that talks about the importance of hormone balance, because it affects so many areas, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really, hormones are basically little messengers that go in your bloodstream all the way from your gut to your brain to all the other organs. and they are telling your body what to do. They're actually the same as neurotransmitters. There are a couple the same as neurotransmitters, like, but one are in your bloodstream and neurotransmitters are in your nervous system. And you want your brain to send the right signals, but you also want to have the right foods, because these neurotransmitters and these hormones are actually also created in your intestines. So they are created in your intestines. So when you eat crappy food, for example, it'll create, a different mix of hormones, and it'll give you all weird symptoms. And then, maybe your thyroid's starting to annoy you. Or maybe, that's when you notice like hot and cold. Or maybe your liver starts to annoy you because, it's receiving the wrong signals over there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's very interesting. I have 3 grown children, and my oldest daughter, when she was born, right after that, I ended up having a thyroid problem. And the way that the Western medicine doctors at the time and my obstetrician at the time was saying, it was like a normal thing. It's a normal thing. Your hormones will go out of whack, and it's okay. I felt like they didn't say it's okay, but I felt like that's the message I got, that it's okay if it never goes back because your body's different now. And I ended up never getting off the hormone medication for the thyroid problem, and I developed Hashimoto's. And not until recently did I realize that did not have to happen that way. Through food and stress levels and different things, it could really help. And so what you're offering people is just incredible information. And if you want to share a little bit about, I know you have an older child and a younger child, if you want to share anything about how hormones played a part in those pregnancies, I would love to welcome that.
Oh, yeah, of course. So this is really one of the most interesting things, because I was not eating raw in my first pregnancy, but I did start to eat raw in the second one. And I was actually 8 years eating raw vegan. And the difference between the two pregnancies, so different, so different. The first one, I was sort of towards attracted to raw food, but I never heard anybody. I didn't hear um, other people saying that it's a thing. I didn't even know like it was a thing. I just thought about eating less processed, make everything myself. Like I even at the time I even thought I had to go become a hunter gatherer to experience what it's like to be a real human. And yeah, I got.
Uh-oh, did we lose you? Okay, I don't know what just happened. If you guys can see me, let me know in the chat. But I think we may have temporarily lost Wendy. And so let's just see if she comes back. I hope so. There's so much to learn from her and her story of hormone. I want to say hi to Jill Caperton, who's in the chat. I did say hello to Else and everyone else who is watching. And I'm just going to give her a second here. Otherwise, I might want to just send her a message and have her jump out and then jump back in. And this is what happens, everyone, when we go live. Ah, there she is. You're back.
Yeah, and this is not me. This is not the stream. This is it being prime time in the Netherlands. Really, you think
Okay.
we're not in a third world country? I was in Spain. It was way better out there in the middle of nowhere. And here, everybody wants to watch TV right now.
Oh, so yeah, so you're in the Netherlands. So that's something that we didn't share. And no
Yes.
worries, we're glad to have you back in here. And everyone in the chat has been supportive, just letting me know that
Okay. Thank you so
they
much.
could see me. Yeah. So you were talking about the different pregnancies and that you're
Yes.
about 8 years being raw and what you were thinking about hunter gathering and that kind of thing.
Yes.
That's the last thing I heard. Oh,
Yeah, and then I kind of took a break because you froze. So wow, Elle says it's my birth country. I love that. Yeah,
yeah.
mine too. So I had, like, in the beginning of a pregnancy, your I think it's ligaments, your connective tissue. I don't know exact name, starts to loosen up, and it's normal. And most of it's supposed to happen at the end of the pregnancy and change the whole hips and pelvic area, right? So
Yes.
um, and it's normal to feel that. It's normal to have a little pain in that, but it hurt it so much, and it started in week 8, which is super early in pregnancy, that I had to lie down and they told me to take paracetamol. It's like, I don't take that stuff, right? So I was off, like, I never took anything. uh, and since 2009, I didn't take anything anymore. It was 2012 at the time, so that's 3 years, and I was like, no. um, and I got super hypermobile from that point on. And the medical community, like doctors, but also physiotherapists, but also acupuncturists, osteopaths, chiropractors, nobody will do anything with you because you're pregnant.
Right.
And
Oh,
so they're just basically, well, you are so loose that your body's falling apart, so everything's gonna hurt, all your joints are gonna hurt, and you're just gonna have to sit it out. I'm like 9 weeks pregnant at that point. Like, dude, I got 31 to go.
oh my God.
um, so I had to manage. If I slept on the left, the hip, like these are my hips, this here would be the bottom, the bed, it would slowly slide and start scratching the bone at the front. If I would just put my weight a little back, it would go there and it would just scratch the SI joint. And when I would stand up, it would just feel like everything sagging back into place, which also hurt. So I would go on the other side. So basically, I started sleeping about 3 hours, being awake, walking around, sleeping another 3 hours. And this did not go away until I found a really good osteopath that was willing to help me, because I couldn't do anything with hormones and pills or supplements. Like, nobody wants to help you. And then when I found him, he's only supposed to treat people every 6 weeks. But because it was me, he would take me 5 weeks. And after 4 weeks, I would go, please, can I come? Please, can I come? Please help me put me back together.
Mhm.
And I was just like sitting out these last days to go to him to put me back. And I really, yeah, went through pregnancy like that. And they said, maybe it'll come back, maybe it'll go, maybe it'll fix after birth. Probably, maybe it's connective tissue weakness, you're just super hypermobile. And there are multiple problems that someone can have with connective tissue, and I had all the other symptoms as well. I will not go through the whole list. But I learned studying during this time that my other problems also were related to high inflammation, constantly being inflamed all over the place, that my ligaments were always inflamed where they connect to the joints. So you could say some sort of arthritis, right?
Mhm.
Maybe I would have youth rheumatism. Um, yeah.
Wow.
So this is the hormones sending, they were just sending wrong signals.
And so when you talk about being inflamed and having that be the cause, how did you connect food or being raw or whatever, how did you end up connecting that to realize that that might be a contributor? Or how did you bring that inflammation down? Or maybe you didn't until later, but how did that happen for you?
Okay. I'd love to share that with you, and I'll watch my words because there is something involved that we cannot, like, YouTube doesn't like.
Okay. Family warning.
Yeah. Um, so I've been always been reacting bad to anything doctors would give me, and um, at some point I was almost paralyzed for a moment, for like 15 minutes, and I could not control my body anymore, and I experienced like cognitive dissociation. So that means that you feel completely disconnected from your body, and I was literally standing here looking at myself, like looking at my head and my body, and telling my body, like, move, like, hello, say I'm not fine, say something, say this is bad. And I was like, talk. And the other part of me was like trying to move my mouth and make words, but no words would go. It was very strange. And this, looking back, was shock to my body. And with what I got through medications, but also probably too much fish, with like heavy metals like mercury and lead, arsenicum, but mostly mercury. And that accumulated in my body, apparently. And that will constantly give a low inflammation. So your body wants to get rid of it. And yeah, how I know it's inflammation, because everywhere where you have pain, inflammation, actually a process, it's a process, a chain of chemical reactions, that's the inflammation, is starting. And the body does that to clean up some mess or attack something that it sees as a threat. And it could be that you have heavy metal. It could be that there is a virus, a bacteria. It could be that you exercised a lot, didn't drink enough, and you're not getting rid of the waste products, like the normal metabolic waste products. And probably all of those were happening inside my body for several years. And I did, before that last visit that I just told you about, before the last thing that, like, medications I got, um, I reduced allergic symptoms and the other pains through naturopathy. And this is actually a way, it's called Decens Pro. And yeah, it's a Dutch guy who made it up. It's a bunch of energetic remedies and herbs. You do that for 3.5 months, and allergy is supposed to be reduced. I did that 2 times, and I did it together with now my ex, and actually got him like off his nut allergy, off his fish allergy. It was like insane. He even can handle somebody eating peanuts over there now.
Wow.
So it's really amazing how that process reduces the overall histamine production in the body, and it just promotes a natural, safe way for these inflammation particles to be bound to something safe and to be eliminated through, normal elimination organs like the breath, you pee, you poop, and through sweat, through your skin.
Yeah, I want to say inflammation. I think, isn't there a big difference between inflammation that's normal, because we get inflammation when we cut ourselves and it's healing, versus the kind of inflammation that you're talking about, which is chronic and doesn't ever just go away, right? So there is a good inflammation, but there's also a not good inflammation.
Yeah, so I always try to say that, generally speaking, all inflammation is good because it is your body's immune system working. On the other hand, why is it having a low level constant inflammation? Like, you can develop an allergy, right? And then you get an autoimmune disease because your body is attacking its own cells. It's making yeah, antibodies for something that is your body. And that is an inflammation we don't want, of course. So we have to learn the body how to not attack those cells. And we can do that. And what is perceived in a hospital is they tell you that it's not possible. But I experience myself. I see it in my husband. I see my family. I learned this in naturopathy school. I apply this to a lot of my clients. It's working. Like, what do you mean? They mean because they don't know the answer, that it doesn't exist. I learned if they don't know the answer, somebody else might know the answer.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, and I thought, okay, this is absolutely wonderful to know this, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And amazing that you were able to find somebody that could help you with the herbs, and a protocol that you were able to try. Else says, I think of it as useless inflammation. That's a good way to put the one that we don't want.
Yeah.
um,
And the
yeah,
other
and
hand, I also believe cells thrive when we love them the most. And it holistically, it does have to do with self care and self love. And if I give my health in the hands of somebody else, um, and they're going to give me something, I want to feel intuitively if that is the right thing for me. And if we just give all our authority away, then we are in a way not loving ourselves, because we're basically giving our body to somebody else and say, now you take care of my body. Well, we're supposed to do that ourselves. And of course, I am not saying anything bad about allopathic regular medicine. Like, they have their super important place, but for this chronic inflammation where there is antibodies for pollen, for grass, for thyroid cells, that is not their expertise. If you ask my opinion. They just don't know. And well,
yeah, I agree with what you're saying. There's a very good place for them, and we need that. But I also agree with you that we have to trust our own bodies. And the way that I was raised, I kind of was raised to put on a pedestal, the Western medicine world, and let them. Um, what they say is what it is. And I have learned that it's not like that forever. Oh, I hear somebody special.
yeah, this some special person was not with Mama all the day, so I think she
Oh,
should say
hello,
hi.
beautiful.
Okay,
Hello.
I'm gonna put her out of the screen. So she's
And
now
this
not in.
is, yeah, this baby is a raw baby that was created by you in a good place, right?
Yes, well, I must be honest, and I tell everybody honestly. Once I got pregnant, I did not stay 100% raw the whole time. I was way too hungry, and there was not enough calories for me available. So I basically binged on Brussels sprouts and broccoli and anything green and cooked.
And hey, you know what? That doesn't sound like a bad way to go at all. I still think that's fantastic. And she looks beautiful and healthy, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Um,
So I thought that was not too bad neither. I was like, at some point, calories are more important. Like, you don't want to starve your body. And I really, yeah, I was in a place where some days, some weeks, there was just nothing ripe, good, tasteful something available. And you do need to eat. Like, I still believe that we need to eat.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just, I'm going to take a break and just say, just a reminder, if you're interested in the bundle, it goes until the 11th of this month, May, and you can get it through the link through Wendy or myself's bios. And it's a really wonderful book that she has in it. And there are so many contributions that are in it. We can't even go into all that. But with your book, you had mentioned blending science with experience. And I was wondering if you could talk about how you bring those two things together in the book. And it doesn't even have to be in the book, but just in general, to share
Oh,
with others.
oh, that's okay. I will share that. So I dove into the biochemistry. A little bit about my background. I was interested in knowing about auras, about meridians, about energy healing. I did when I was in the secondary school. I did photo readings and all of that kind of stuff. I did Reiki. I became Reiki master, and that was everything that I loved when I was in school. And so I went to study physics because I thought it would be cool to make a machine that could like work like Killian photography. And I wanted to find out if I could make such a thing and how it works. And if I mean, if I can see an aura, we should be able to measure it, right? And so I thought it'd be cool to invent something like that, and went to study physics. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's cool. I've had some Reiki done to me. That's cool. Very, very unique. You don't hear people talk about that a lot. And so I'm so glad that you shared that. So yes, please continue.
Okay, so besides that, after that, I went to do Theta healing courses with Viana Stibal. And then I went to do Merkaba healing, which is like way level up, but I still love the digging method of the Theta healing. And that's how I became actually a naturopath without a diploma and certification. And I went to get my medical, like anatomy and pathology and pharmacology, like all these I got all these diplomas to be recognized by the government to become a therapist. And here in the Netherlands, it's a protected title. It's not for shrinks but it is for anyone, like physiotherapy. It falls in the
Yes.
paramedic categories, and anything they say alternative or complementary, like what I do, you can become therapist. And so yeah, I got registered and I got my number and my practice and everything like that. So that's how I combined it. And in the school was just for me a good way to meet adults that know maybe a little bit more, or at least other things than me. But I noticed very soon that I had a lot of experience, and I read a lot of books compared to others in that I did after physics, right? So I yeah, I knew that when I met them, like I could easily do the exercises, like, okay, take them to your inner child, go meet your spirit guide, answer the questions, test people. It just went very easy for me, this part. And yeah, remembering all the pharmacology names, and all the abbreviations, that's a whole something else.
Yeah.
That's a
Wow.
different
Wow. So
that's a different thing.
how does your personal journey shape the protocols and insights that you share in the book?
Yeah, so after my first experience, it took me 2.5 years to get out of that situation, or basically to a point where I was so tired. There was this vivid, beautiful day like this in the morning in June, where I sit at the bottom of the stairs, and they told me over and over again, do not go up the stairs. You go on your butt, you go one time a day, you'll end up in a wheelchair. Like, you're getting there, you're ruining your ligaments, you're ruining your joints. Don't do it. But I had a little one like that, and um I forgot to take the nappies down, and I did elimination communication, so baby on the potty with him, and I have washable diapers. So I had nothing downstairs. And it was so many times something like that happened. And at that moment, I just broke. I was just crying. I was just going day in, day out, night, day, night, day, trying to find happiness with my baby. I mean, I was grateful, but like, I felt like a little plant. Just feeding my baby was the only thing I could do. Like, I wasn't good for anything else anymore. If I wasn't even able to go up the stairs to grab a diaper, like, what am I for, So
Yeah.
I sat there and I cried, or I just broke down, like, all the emotions, like anger, frustration, sadness. And then something, like, I think it was too much for myself. Something just snapped. And I was like, this is not living. This is not life. This is not what we're supposed to do. This is not how it's supposed to be. And it was just somehow, I was like, no way I'm going to live like this. I have a choice. I'm going to take whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to the bottom of this. And I'm going to solve this issue. I'm going to figure out why it's happening to me, what's happening to my body, what I can do about it. And I'll definitely make sure I'll solve it. I'm 34. If it takes me till I'm 80, I don't care. I'm going to find it. Took me only a few months. And listen to my optimism. I thought, until I'm 80.
80. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, look at optimism. I think I'm dying, and I tell myself, until I'm 80.
Well, you know what? It's that's something that's to be said. When we are pushed, our bodies are pushed, or we're pushed in a place where we know it's not functioning correctly. That motivation, that constant reminder, for me, that was the thing too. And so I could hear it in your voice, your determination, and just your intuition that you knew this isn't right, and nobody was understanding it. And so you take things into your hands, and look at you. You didn't have to wait till 80.
Oh, yeah, like, it took me a while to go 100% raw, because like I said, I felt drawn to it for a long time. But in that moment, I just decided that they all, how do you say that politely? That they were all wrong.
It should all go downstream. Is that what you mean? Go downstream, like,
Well,
later?
yeah. We can say the photo, but I don't not say that. It's not so bad. It means basically go sit on the toilet.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right. Well, there's a time and a place for that too.
Yeah. So basically, that's not so good. It just means, like, they can go sit on the toilet, and I will figure out what to do in the meantime. And yeah. So
How did you know that raw food was going to be an avenue to try? Did somebody, I mean, you said you were drawn to it, but, like, how do you think about doing that if you're not used to that? Like, did someone show you eating
more
raw?
and more raw already. I was trying to be vegetarian for years, going and going back, because everything the community told me to eat instead of meat was making me more sick than 2 times a week a fish or a meat. And I would eat just tiny amount, but it was the only thing to keep me going. I got tested a lot, blood tests, and on my request, like, I had to push them. Here you have to, like, really beg and push to. Oh, sorry. Hey, Kian, kom Elina eens even uit de tuin halen.
And she'll be back.
He left the sandbox. I'm like, where's my baby?
Oh my gosh.
Nice. It's okay. Nu? Rennen.
And this is what happens on Alive. It's real life. And that's what I love about it. I love about that.
Yeah, I don't have any babysit anymore. Like I don't. Okay, so I read this book from a Dr. Hans Molenberg. He's a general practitioner. It's like it's your area doctor. You know, the one that is in the area. They all divide there. And he did some amazing research on fluoride, like way back, and he
Mm.
wrote a book like a cancer-free life. He wrote a book about all the modern diseases of children, you know, like all the ASS disorders and all other new things that children have, and what, you know, what could cause it, and the relation with how much chemicals children are getting from a young age that were not one or two generations back. And he confirmed what I was feeling inside, that we should just eat nature. And from a person that has always eaten like very Dutch, like bread with something, add lettuce to my bread, have some cucumber or cauliflowers or and some fruits during the day, and have a dinner with always with a lot of vegetables, either pasta, potatoes, or a little meat, or not sometimes. I ate very good. You know, there was no junk food. There was no like going out or oils or something. But yeah, I was thinking it was really good compared to a lot of other people. So I changed that. I was already since 2009 making everything myself, like everything, like everything. So I was having my garden, and my parents were always having gardens. So I was always having vegetables from the garden, and in the season, not in the middle of the winter. But then in the market, there was gigantic amounts of kale available. For example, like it's so cheap, nobody wants to eat it. It's poor people food here, and cabbages and all. Like it's so abundantly available here in the winter. So yeah, you think what you do wrong. So I wanted to be vegetarian. I wanted to ditch the dairy and the meat. I didn't know that it was called vegan at the time. So I went on paleo, but then the Wendy version, which has as less animal products as possible. Because I felt I didn't want to be a hypocrite. I thought if I want to eat animals, I have to go kill them. So like I said, I thought I had to be hunter gatherer, and I don't want to hunt. So, you know, so or I'm a wrong human, or I'm gonna have to kill the rabbit. And I'm like, I'm not killing the rabbit, so I better stop eating meat.
Yeah, I hear you, because a lot of people don't think about where their food comes from, and the fact that if you didn't go to the grocery store to get it, how would you get it, right? You have to
Yeah.
hunt it and prepare it, and most people don't want to do that. They don't know how to do that, and it doesn't sound as inviting, right?
Yes, I was interested that from a very young age. Very
So
young.
true.
Here we have the prehistoric village. It's a rebuild of a prehistoric village, and you can go there and spend the day, and sometimes they do weekends or weeks, and you can live like back then. It was like my dream to do that, from very young, like 8 or 9. So I was very attracted to that. So the for me, it's been a red thread through my life. And this Hans Molenberg, this very famous person, actually, I went to meet him one time in a seminar, or a lecture of his new book, and I got the book and I read the book, and it just confirmed, like he's agreeing with me, like, wow, this 75-year-old experienced man has yeah, agrees with what I'm feeling. This is good. Like I have a backup. Like it's not just in my head or in my heart. It's science.
You
It's
felt
not.
that you felt validated. It sounds like you felt
Yeah.
validated. Somebody
Yes,
got,
yes, absolutely.
just with somebody finally is like, yes, that's what I'm experiencing. And now you're showing me the path. And I know how rewarding and how uh, good that feels when you don't feel like you're doing this all on your own, kind of thing. And,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that that's how it was for you.
So yeah, so I just started convincing everybody around me, my friends and my family, like no, this is my baby. I know he's almost 2. No, he doesn't eat bread. Now that in the Netherlands is like, that is like, trying to conquer a city on your own. Like, just trying to get your own family not to feed your child bread if you don't want it. Like cheese they could understand, meat they could understand, but bread, no. He has to eat bread. Like,
Wow.
and he would get sick every time. Every time he gave him gluten, he got super sick. Every time he got sprayed citrus fruits, he got sick. Every time he ate strawberries, he got sick. Like every time he got something else except simple, boring fruits and boring vegetables, he got sick. And this showed me, hey, this baby diet, like where they say the first bites, in the baby book where it says start with banana, start with broccoli, it seems to be working for my child. Like if I add other things, it's going wrong. How about this baby diet for me? And that's how
Mhm.
I found his books, Hans Molenberg's books. And it's something, it's called like you can heal or something like that. It's really in Dutch. And
Wow.
I read it and I was like, wow, he agrees with me. And he also agrees legumes are not to eat like that. You're supposed to sprout them and things. And I was like, yeah. So I didn't need a lot of encouragement, but I did it secretly. I didn't tell everybody that I was, you know, not eating bread anymore. Like sugar, no sugar they get, no meat they get, but no bread. It's just that's a
Interesting.
different world. Like you can't do that. So
Wow.
yeah, we did that, and that was in 2015. And then I found some people that did a 40-day juice fast. And I was like,
Yes, I have heard of that. I've done a very small one, but yes. What did you think about that?
the first time in 2015, I thought, why would you do that? Like, what's the point? And they so said, yeah, it's because to clean out your intestines. So why would my intestines be dirty? I poop every day. What's wrong with that?
Ah,
So, and then they start a little bit talking about it, and I'm doing this naturopathy diploma at the same time, and I'm thinking, oh, it's the gut brain axis. Wow, it starts to click now. Oh, I get it, but why not eat the grapes then? Like, so it was a little bit far, but I soon realized that there is a point, like simple, just like when your baby starts to eat the first week, you give them banana, a week of banana. So I thought, okay, a week of grapes is good. A month is maybe a little bit long, but we'll see where we're getting. And then I found out that a whole group was going to do 3 weeks on fruits and vegetables and superfood smoothies and liquid, not juicing. 'Cause I only had citrus juice at the time. I was like, okay. So me and 6 other women took a challenge. One just wanted to quit sugar. Another one wanted to do juice. And I wanted to do, you know, raw food for a week, for 3 weeks. It changed my life.
oh, wow.
It, like, you have to imagine my brain was like non-existent. I was so foggy. I spent 12 hours in bed trying to sleep in pain, like I told you. He was 2. And after 3 weeks, I was like, wait, I'm sleeping way better. I'm I haven't been tired in 3 weeks. What's that? This is cool. Can I do this for longer? And then the search started. I Googling, can you live on fruit and vegetables only? I'm ditching the rest. Want only fruits and vegetables. I don't need the rest anymore. I'm on a track here, I'm on a roll. I'm gonna go. Um and I found a lot of stuff, but nothing about raw food or fruitarian because I didn't know you had to search for that. I was not using the right SEO keywords. I never heard of these words before. I was just like fruit and vegetables. I did find some Dutch people warning you that if you eat raw food only or you eat fruit only, you'll die.
Oh,
I didn't want to believe that, so I thought, damn. And
wow.
then, and then I thought, okay, I'm just gonna and you're supposed to rebuild, right? And I was reading the manual. It said, eat fish, eat omega fatties, eat fish. And I'm standing there with the herring. I think it's raw, you know. I'm just like, shall I do this? Wait, I'm vegetarian for 3 weeks and something already. Like, oh my God, I made it. I'm 3 weeks vegetarian and I don't feel bad. Like, this is it. This is it. This is gonna be it. Like, I don't care. Like, theory and TV, this is gonna be it. So I did another 3 weeks, exactly the same thing. So we're now in 6 weeks. Hey, I'm standing up. I'm seeing the sunshine. I'm carrying my bags. I'm like, it only took 6 weeks. I've been in horror for like 3 years almost. It
Mm,
only took 6 weeks. And of course, not everything was healed perfectly, but it
right.
made the gigantic difference from struggling to survive to feeling that you're getting somewhere. So, yeah, I hope this story inspires a lot of people. And
Yeah,
everything I learned that year is in the book.
that's awesome. Oh my gosh. I feel for you and what you went through, and I know that it did so much, right? Because you want to share the word with your book and everything else. And so I did want to ask you a question. So, like, what are in your opinion, what are some of the most common signs that someone might be struggling from a hormone imbalance if they don't know and they don't know where to turn to? What would you say to them is something, if they go, oh, that's happening to me, maybe I don't know what it is, but what would you say is the most common sign?
A sign that some hormone disbalance is happening. Do you mean that?
Yes, like is there a common thing that people can maybe question that they're struggling with a hormone imbalance? Is there something that's a common
Oh,
thing, like what
yes.
you had with the with the joint pain or with the thyroid you mentioned? Is there
Yeah.
anything that's like a common sign?
So, like any sign, like I said before, any discomfort during your female cycle, any phase of this cycle, any discomfort in this cycle is a sign that your hormones are off. So this is the simplest as I can say it. Yeah,
Yeah.
anything I would just take away from that.
Do,
um, Acne, for example, could be also this hormone disbalance. Acne comes and goes through the cycle. Smelly sweat can also have a relationship. Not being able to sweat, it's just low adrenals. um
those are good
yeah.
points. You know,
the
oh, go ahead.
No, go.
Oh,
Otherwise
okay.
I'm just.
I was going to say, in the hormonal family, I know that I have family members of people that I know, and I never heard of this when I was younger, but there's something that's very common these days, PCOS, right? Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Now, I'm just wondering, is that, because it's become such a common thing where people miss their periods, and it's all a huge hormone imbalance. um, is is there a way that people can try something that you offer in your book, or types of food or anything for people that are dealing with that, to help balance naturally the hormone that causes that? Do you know?
Well, I would say you'll need a little bit deeper digging than just giving one thing. One thing will not solve the issue, unfortunately. I wish there was a magic pill, but there's not. There are some magic pills in my book, but they're related to other easier topics. Like,
Okay.
for instance, your baby's not coming out during birth. Give this or this or this globally, and it'll come out.
Okay. Okay.
But
Okay. Well,
for this tissue to grow, same with endometriosis, right? The same with, for some tissue to grow that is different and in the wrong place or too much, it takes some time for the body to do that. And also it takes some time for the body to take it away again. So you have to think that amount of time it took to grow it is about the same amount you have to take it away. And what is really important, and this might sound a little bit crazy, is movement. But movement is one of the key factors. Even if you don't want to go raw, like if you just want to try vegan or something, like this is so profound, because if the area where you have wrong tissue is not moving, and like use your muscles, not just do cardio, like do some cardio, go stand on your head, move your muscles in any way. It will really move all the fluids there, and these fluids are for removing toxins. Like normal metabolic waste has to be removed from this area, so that new fresh liquid that you drink can go there, and you have to wash yourself from the inside. So that would be my second tip: drink. And it sounds so common, I know, but what I see is most people are, like me. I do yoga. Yeah, stretching is nice, but you got to get like out of breath sometime. You got to go stand on your head, yes, but use your muscles. Like lift up a chair in your home a couple of times a day. It is something. And if it's in your belly, you want to like use your belly muscle and release them. Use your muscle, release them. It's something you can, like I can do right now. Another thing is, when you feel stressed out all the time, you're in fight or flight mode. And fight or flight mode will also create this low level long-term inflammation. So do something to relax. Take a bath. Practice belly breathing with your legs up. That's like the best. Like you relax immediately. So these kind of tips are in my book. I can all name all of them, right?
Yeah. No, that's
Just-
wonderful. I
So
love
it's-
that you said to stand on your head. I'm like, oh, I want to stand on my head right now. Or even a handstand, right? And you're talking about, I think, is that including the lymphatic system, right? Just because you want to move things. And that is so important, because the lymphatic system does not have a way to clear itself out. So that's great advice and tips. And yes, you guys, you got to grab the bundle so you can get Wendy's book and so many others. And it will be available through May 11th, and you can get the link in our bios. It's a great, great, great deal, and you get so many wonderful things. And we're just touching on it, your story and all of your, your tips and things. So, do hormone issues always, in your opinion, require medication? Or can natural approaches really make a difference? And I know we touched on that, but I mean, that maybe that's not the first choice to go, and if you're not used to trying natural approaches, I think just based on what you've shared that it can, but I want to hear you say that it can.
It's my experience that it can. I have seen miraculously things change, and the more vague, the more long-term the symptom, usually it's harder to get rid of.
Yeah.
Something acute, that's what I said. When it comes fast, it can be removed fast. A cut, couple of days, a week, it's closed. But something that's been growing in your body that's not supposed to be there takes a little bit longer. But there are a lot of things you can do. So in my book, I describe what foods you can eat that specifically balance the hormones, and then I name the hormones that are related, like to, especially to for women, especially during this whole transition. Let's say let's transition. So I not only you're stressed out, it's all about cortisol and adrenaline. No, but it's also about oxytocin, for example, like the cuddle hormone, and a little bit related more to preparing for a pregnancy or coming out, like like I did, like issues after or when you go through per perimenopause. So I have a lot of people that were told that they are in premenopause, and they are quite young, like the youngest being 28.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it can change. Like look at my sister. They told her she couldn't have a baby. Like she had a baby like 2 weeks ago. um so yeah, there is a lot of things that you can do. And when you have something like you said before, like PCOS and what you can do about it, you really want to support all the organs, because your hormonal system is a system of signals. One hormone's going from one organ to the other one, telling the one what to do. It's going from your pituitary to your adrenals, to your liver. So it's going all over the place, to your thyroid, telling these organs um, what to do basically. And if your brain is full of crap because you're not standing on your head and moving around and drinking enough water, it's quite difficult to heal something that's in your belly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow.
sometimes, and the other way around too, if you keep eating crappy foods and eating high fat, fried, whatever, um, it will send the wrong signals to your brain, which will send wrong signals to the other organs again. And yeah, so that's really important. So the liver and liver cleaning is really important for PCOS as well,
Okay.
for anything. So I'm not really a fan of celery juice, but it does have its place. So it is in my book as well, and explain a little bit about it. But also like a cucumber and juice, and bitter herbs like dandelion. I like the use of tinctures if people have really severe problems and they don't want to get medications from the doctor, and they want to try natural approach to really, yeah, measure them, like do a blood test, do a bioresonance test. I also test with the wrist so that we know where we're standing, and make a protocol for like 8 weeks. Do the protocol, do another test, see where you're standing, do another 8 weeks. And I usually do 3 blocks of 8 weeks, and then you start to see like
Improvement.
really big changes, like
Yeah.
really big changes. Like
Yeah.
they
So
don't, yeah.
so that's really wonderful. So if people want to work with you or find you, where can they find you if they want to reach out to you outside of getting the bundle and getting your book? Where else can they find you?
So I also have a website. It's called healthybywendy.com. It's in 4 languages. You just have to put the little, click the little flag in the left bottom corner. You can choose a language. And yeah, I am happy to hear from you. There is a form, but I'm happy to chat with you on Instagram as well. You can just write me a message there. No issue. Yeah.
That's wonderful. 4 languages. Oh my gosh, I struggle with my one.
Oh
So that,
yeah, but we have help for that, you know.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
we have some translate services to help us with that. So
Oh, that's wonderful. I know there are some recipes for juices in your book, and I'm looking at those. I wanted to make some today. I'm like, I don't have the black grapes. I got to go get it, and different things that you have in there. So, but I plan on trying that. And this has been really fun, really informative. I'm wondering, is there anything else that we didn't touch on that maybe you would want to bring out or share with anybody here today?
well, I could keep going. Like I said, I could do this for 8 hours. We only did one chapter, you know. So yeah. Um, well, at least I want to say that I really appreciate your time. And if it was useful for you and people watching, and you would want to pick my brain some more, I'm more than happy to share my knowledge. I really feel that what I researched to get out of this this problem with heavy metals, with this hormonal disbalance, and to have a free, pain-free pregnancy and free birthing, all by myself like that. And I mean, I achieved all of that, and I think that this knowledge should be common among women. So I really want to share it, because if I'm not there anymore, it stays in my brain. I die, nobody knows it, and it would be a waste. And that's why I'm here. That's why I try to write everything down. And yeah, even if you think and you look at all my stuff and you think, she's not famous, or maybe I'm not famous, I'm not looking for famous.
Yeah, no, this is wonderful. I do have another question, actually. If you wanted to talk a little bit about what is the clarity program that you mentioned, and how does that work? You don't have to go into great detail, but just to kind of let people know that there is this thing called a clarity program.
Okay. So, actually, Jennifer, what you got is my free brain cheat sheet, and it has a
Okay.
clarity program. The clarity program that you've seen, and you can share this knowledge, is just a little peek behind the scenes of what's in the book, because in the book it's like a whole protocol, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, these juices, these smoothies,
Mm.
um, use these greens. I elaborate like pages on different greens with exact um, outline of why it's beneficial to you, and which ones are supporting GABA hormone, for example, or which ones have choline or iron or calcium a lot, even for example, so that when you get a blood test back, or another test, and you see, oh, I need more of this, I need more of this, how am I going to do that? That you can take my book and you can look up, okay, I need these minerals, okay, these hormones are off according to my blood test. Oh wow, I can eat watercress, so I never eat watercress. So you incorporate watercress like twice a week for the next weeks, and you get more of that. And if you do the movement, the water, then your lymph can take away the old stuff. And with my book, you can see how to get the things that you need to replace the mess and
Yeah.
build good hormones. Yeah.
That's incredible. Oh, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I did see about the watercress, and I enjoy that, but I never see it in bulk. I only see it like attached to the out here they sell it attached to like the root, the dirt it gives you, and then it's a small thing in a bag, and I just love it. But yeah, I was thinking when I saw that, I wonder if I could get that in like larger quantities without growing it. But it's a
Yeah.
really good one that we don't think about very often. And like you said, it has its own healing protocols and healing things inside it, which is super wonderful. I'm wondering, do you ever hear, or have you ever helped anyone heal from having like leg cramps in the morning from like low magnesium or whatever? If you could touch on that for a minute.
Yeah, that would be me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So usually it's not just magnesium that's the problem, and there's a whole chapter on this topic actually.
Oh,
Um, because it's not just the magnesium, it's water has to carry those electrolytes to the right place. And you might have some blockages in your lymphatic system. You might, yeah, like you might have some blockages here and there, like not just lymphatic system, but just the tissues might be glued together. That happens as well. And basically what I said, movement, stretching, water, and make sure you got all your electrolytes, not just magnesium. Let's say that you do have these acute symptoms and you want to take magnesium to solve it like right now, because now you have the pain and you want to sleep, for example. I elaborate on what foods, what juices, what herbs, what tinctures, and then last, what kind of supplements, first being um, magnesium from an algae and another kind of plant. So they sell them in capsules, and then magnesium in an isolate. So, the one that they sell in a cheap pharmacy where you can just like walk in and get like
Huh.
magnesium citrate, for example. We have something amazing here. It's called Zechschal, and it is salt from, actually here in the ground, because million of years ago there was a sea, and it's full of magnesium, and they sell this salt. So they take out the salt from the ground. It's not just salt. It's not natrium chloride, so potassium chloride. It is just, as I say that correctly, or
Yes,
sodium.
you did. You did. You did a great.
Okay. So, and it has a lot of magnesium chloride in there. It does get filtered a little bit, so you're not sitting in the waste, and there's a lot of magnesium. You put that in a foot bath or in a real bath if you have one.
Mm.
And a magnesium absorbs really well through the skin. So if you do have a need to get rid of these cramps right now, you first drink a bunch of water, just like 750 milliliters. That's 1 gallon, I think. No, that's half a gallon, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's half a gallon.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know my milliliters that well, but
yeah, I think it's a little bit around a half a gallon. Session. Yeah, this one. So, and then you take a bath or a foot bath with this salt. It gets absorbed. If you still have this problem, it's not the magnesium. It might actually be the calcium, because it's the magnesium calcium balance that can create these symptoms, that can also uncreate the symptoms. So it's not just the magnesium.
wow.
And there's also other amazing minerals that you need in this mix, like zinc, for example, is also super important. So I elaborate on that as well. And you need oxygen to go there so that your blood vessels are happy. And to get oxygen, you need iron. And to need iron, you need the vitamins. So I wrote that whole book, like how this works. Like
Okay.
you need this, so do that. You need this, you do that, and then the cycle at the end. There's a whole circle, and the circle is round, and you
Well,
got this
yeah,
priority program.
I'm going to definitely read that part because I often wake up with the leg cramp, and I always thought it was magnesium or an imbalance of some sort. People talk about out here like electrolyte powders and mix it with the water, but yeah, I'm going to read your chapter on that, and I hope this is helpful to people watching the live or the replay, because it's all connected. Our body is one unit, and when it works the way it's supposed to, man, life is grand. And when
Yeah,
something is not right, it's so important to reach out and have that community and people like you who've experienced it and put it out there to share with others. So thank you for that.
yeah. Shall I tell you the recipe? I think you have it over there in the free sheet there over there.
Sure, yeah, tell me the recipe. Tell me.
Yeah, there's this really awesome recipe with pumpkin bliss balls. It's made from pumpkin seeds. I would really recommend that because it's super high in magnesium and it tastes awesome. And other than that, I also elaborate on spinach and figs. If you love spinach, if you love figs, this is really amazing to relax. And you do need your potassium, so bananas, oranges, stuff like that, but also like tahini. I touch on that as well.
Oh,
And like broccoli, I ate a lot of that in the pregnancy. It seemed to really work. So, and most of all, movement and water. And if all that doesn't work, I would really recommend like go to like osteopath or somebody to just check your movements. Maybe they can adjust like your hip or your spine or your leg or something like that, because it could also just be something physical like that, and it really helped.
okay. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. And I've learned a lot, and I've really enjoyed our time together. And everybody that watched here, hopefully you gained some insight and have already downloaded your bundle. We would really appreciate that, and hopefully you'll gain a lot more knowledge as well. And like Wendy said, you can reach her on her platforms. And we're going to put those up right there so you can reach her. And you were kind enough to say, sure, reach out with a question on Instagram as well if you want to do that. So I just want to thank you for your time, for your wisdom. It's been really fun for me to learn, and I just look forward to continuing things with you. I know tomorrow, right? You're going to be hosting me. You want to share about that?
Well, Jennifer, I don't know so much about you yet. So I am here holding back my questions like, how about you? Where are you from? Like, what's all this fruit going on? When did you find the bundle? So I think that my followers also would be very interested in that, as I see like a lot of people here seem to know you already. Um, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And I did check out your recipe already in the bundle group book. So I did check it out, and also did not get around to making it with all these kids around around here. But I'm really curious tomorrow, and I would like to invite everybody to come back tomorrow for an interview for Jennifer. And yeah, go grab this bundle if you haven't, and if you're not sure, just click the link in the bio and see what's inside and if you like it or not. And mine is all the way at the bottom at W where it says Wendy. So feminine harmony, that's my book. And
Yes,
thanks,
yes.
Jennifer. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I will be on your channel tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you guys want to tune in, and I look forward to sharing and letting you learn more about me. So I'll just close now by saying thank you to everyone. Don't forget to eat your greens. And like I always say, give plants a chance. Take care. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Wendy. And we'll see you all next time. Bye for now.